Why are 123's getting so scarce? I've noticed something lately. It's hard to find a good 123 series car, you know, and I think that this is a problem for a lot of people because they start to get the scarcity mindset when they're looking for a car, so they start to overpay. And my job is to help people not overpay, and so we're going to talk about whether 123 scarcity is real or whether it's perceived or whether it's just due to a lack of willingness of people to do hard work. So, a while ago I released a video where I was talking about how all classic Mercedes to an extent are project cars. Any 30-year-old car is a project car. The question is, do you have the wherewithal to see the project through? And that can be really difficult and frustrating when you don't know what your options are. So I know for a fact that the 123 series is going to go down in history as the best car ever made. You know, I'm working on making sure that that is knowledge that every car enthusiast has in their brain. Whether or not they want to acknowledge it or not, you know, is one thing, but I think it's a truth we all know. The survival rates are much higher than we think. So where are the 123s? Well, a lot of people about 10 years ago who had these cars started to realize that the 123 was a better car than anything they could buy new, so they hold them. They became a long-term hold. I've tested my customers before like this, asking them if they'd ever want to sell their 123s, and the short answer is we don't care how much money people offer, not for sale. I'm kind of the same way. What do I drive? An 83 300D turbo, 396,000 miles, faded gold paint. The car is like a spoiled little Pomeranian dog owned by an old rich lady. It gets whatever it needs to keep going and be happy. But, you know, I love that car. That car has taken better care of me than probably any car I've ever owned, except maybe the rusty 69 220D that I owned for 5 years and drove 100 miles a day and basically lived in. You know, that car owed me nothing when I retired. It absolutely owed me nothing. But going back to the 123 series, a lot of the really good cars you're going to have to buy from estates, and that includes probably mine, you know. And so hit me up in about 50 years if I'm an old sick man. We might be able to talk, you know, when I want to sell my car. The other thing is that people are averse to restoring 123s. Now, here's what I don't understand. People restore all kinds of cars that are not great cars, like the BMW 2002. You know, talk about a tin can with a great engine. They restore Porsche 914s. I mean, a 914, if it rusts too badly, it just breaks in half. They restore, what else do people restore? They restore, I don't know, all kinds of crappy cars, you know, that just don't, you said it, dots and 510s. You know, they restore these cars particularly because they perceive them to be simple. What I don't understand is why people don't restore Mercedes sedans like 123s and 115s and Finn cars. Too much work. Oh, it's too expensive. Yes, you have to pay for the quality, but they just don't want to do it. We still haven't reached a point in the 123 market where people are taking a car that's like all rusty or whatever and saying, man, you know, this is a great car, I need to restore it. It's probably because so many great examples have survived. You know, the 123 is one of the few cars where you could go out and buy a high mileage example in original condition, rebuild the front end, rebuild the climate control system, you know, do like 10 to 15 miscellaneous repairs in the car and have a great car at the end of the day. But I digress. People are just unwilling, whether they're too cowardly or there aren't enough services available or they don't want to spend the money to actually go through with the restoration of the car. So they end up overemphasizing the, you know, the niceness of the cars in the market. Now, a third thing is that people don't know how to look for cars. I've had so many videos about this. If you want to, you know, learn how to hunt for a classic Mercedes, go watch my backlog of videos on this topic. They think that the only places they're going to find a car in Auto Trader, Hemmings, and Bring a Trailer. People, what happened to the thrill of the hunt? I'm serious. Like, don't you people know how to hunt for anything anymore? You're like, I've been hunting. I'll get this email. I don't want to make fun of anybody. I'm not targeting anybody, but I'll say it the way I perceive it in my head. I've been hunting for a classic Mercedes for a long time now, a 123's turbo, and I've been looking on Bring a Trailer and Hemmings and eBay and all these places. I haven't been able to find the right car. Well, that's because the right car is not on there. You really have to do some digging to find the right car. For example, for one of my subscribers, you know, I found an 81 240D, 147,000 miles, stick shift, 0 options in Hilton Head Island because it was purchased by the owner of a repair shop because he was trying to help out a friend of his whose dad bought the car new. The guy he bought it from was in his 80s, and his dad bought the car, I think, when he was in his 70s or whatever. So the car was a one family-owned car. And how did I find out about this car? Because he sent me pictures of another car that he had for sale, and this car was in the background. I mean, you really got to think out of the box. Go to the repair shops, even the wrecking yards, drive around in people's neighborhoods, you know, look on the B sites like OfferUp, you know, even Facebook Marketplace, because these cars are not available. Okay, that's the key word. They are not available, you know, on some of the mainstream auction sites. If they are, they cost a fortune because people who have them sometimes don't think they're that valuable. You know, they're just like, oh, you know. Like, I'll give you an example. A friend of mine is working on a media project with the 123 series cars, and he called a friend of mine at Classic Center, and my friend goes, why don't you do a project on the 113? And you know, it's because the people who actually have connections to the cars, like repair shop owners, don't perceive that they're that valuable and that great. You know, that there's some really insightful people that are finding the cars across the country and bringing them to market or whatever. But there are a lot of great 123 series out there. You just have to pick up a bunch of rocks to find them. And so that's where you're going to find the car. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please do what I said at the beginning. Like, share, subscribe, tap the bell for notifications, leave the comment below. If you're supporting us at Patreon and you want help finding a 123 series, just reach out and we'll do what we can to help you. And in the meantime, don't get caught up overpaying for a car that's listed on a mainstream site. That's not finding a car. That's called paying too much for the right car. It doesn't really pencil. And I'm saying this if you're able to, if you have the time and the energy and the desire. I'm saying this if you're able to. Put the blood, sweat, and tears in your car. Have some sweat equity in your car so that you don't just feel like you were handed a car. You know, have some skin in the game. You know, I don't know what else to tell you. One of the reasons I love my old gold car is because I have so much skin in the game. I have more sweat equity in that car than I probably do in some of my, you know, in some of my customer cars that I've done major work on, because I want the car to run well and keep going and have working AC and do whatever it needs to do. So, look, guys, I'll see you. Just don't overpay and keep looking in the places no one looks.